Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. Oh, good
Good.
morning. Sorry, it's still morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing perfectly great. Thank you so much for asking. So, do you have any plans this weekend?
Uh, Preparing material. Ah, I forgot to give you preparing the material. I hope I'll give you on Monday.
Alright, that is not a problem. I will be waiting for you instead.
Okay, I completely forgot.
It's okay. That is not a problem. So, what do you have in mind for this weekend?
Preparing the material for you. I think.
Oh, I see. How, aside from that, is there any other things that you will be
Uh,
doing?
Actually, because I already quit my job before about a month ago, so I'm taking a vacation yesterday. So I wouldn't have planned for the weekend.
Oh, where are you going?
I had gone to the central part of Taiwan.
In Taipei.
No, I live in Taipei, and
Hmm.
yesterday I went to the central part. It's called Taichung.
Taichung. I see. Well,
Yeah,
I'm familiar with that, I think.
yeah, it's not that famous as Taipei.
Yeah, I know. But I believe that it's also a good place, right?
Yes,
Alright, that's
it's a sunny
nice
place.
then. I'm sorry?
Thank you.
It's a
It's a
what?
sunny. It's a sunny place.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So does it mean that it's always hot in there?
Because it's in the center of Taiwan, so it's alright. But when you arrive the south of Taiwan, it's very hot. It's tropical zone.
Oh, really?
Yes, we
I bet.
are a
Sorry, go
part of
ahead.
the part of Taiwan. The north part and the central part are subtropical, but the south of Taiwan is tropical.
I see. Well, that is really great to know. So,
Yeah.
aside from that, what kind of vacation? I mean, are you going to stay there for 2 days
Already
or
no, I already been there yesterday for
just
yesterday.
yesterday?
Yes, yesterday and the day before, and yes, it's a 2 day holiday. Although I'm still practicing the composition at the hotel room.
Oh, that's nice. That is really nice to know. So there.
I have,
Mm-hmm.
I'm catching up because I am back paddle for quite some time.
Oh, okay. Well, pretty amazing. You have a lot of things to do.
Yeah,
So there. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I really appreciate that. So now, are you ready to do our lesson proper?
yes,
Okay, very good. So, my dear, we will be doing the last part of Catalonia book, this
yes.
Catalonia workers' strike for independence. So, we will just do the last part of it and then we will continue, or we will do the new book in which I sent it to you.
Sure.
Okay, so here we will just go ahead and correct our answers. So, can you please read this for me?
The mayor of Barcelona told reporters that the Catalan people deserved to have a vote on independence. She said, "What we need is a democratic response, and we need a political solution, and we need an inclusive solution that listens to the cries of millions of people." She also called for the resignation of Spain's
Very
prime
good.
minister. More unrest could be on the cards. Any declaration of independence by the Catalans could be plunged Spain into a further constitutional crisis and risk the breakup of the country. Other regions could follow Catalonia's example and have their own referendum. Spain's president has called on the international community to help mediate between the
Two sides.
two sides.
Okay, very good. By the way, my dear, I just have a quick question. Can you please
Sure.
Thank you. Can you please read this highlighted word for me again?
International.
International.
International. It's a short A or A.
It's a short A. Interna.
Inter international.
There, very good. So, there you go. And thank you so much for reading this to me. I really appreciate that. And a good job for the correct answers. Now, do you have any words in here that you do not know what is the meaning of?
No.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Okay, that's great to know. Now that we are done on this book, let us go ahead and do the next book.
Yes.
Okay, so our next book is Airline Boss Promises Pilots Bonus to Keep Flying. So can you tell me what is your understanding on the title of this breaking news?
I have read the article, so I know the content of it.
Yeah, but I just would like to know what is your understanding about this title?
That the pilots stop flying and the boss is provide bonuses to keep them flying. They are intended to not to fly.
So does it mean that most of the pilots do not want to fly?
Yes.
Oh, what is the reason behind it?
The benefit is unfair and they are pretty much very thrifty on pilots.
Oh, I see. Well, thank you so much for sharing that idea with me. I really appreciate that. And for assuring me that you do understand what the content or what is the meaning of this title. Now, let us go ahead and read. What is this about? Can you please read these two paragraphs for me?
Sure.
Thank you.
The boss of Europe's biggest low-cost airline has promised to increase to the to increase the pay and working conditions of pilots to stop them leaving the company. Michael O'Leary, CEO of Ryanair, made a personal pledge to the budget carrier's 4,200 pilots to address concerns that pilots are dissatisfied and want to quit the company. Pilots have been offered salary increases of up to 11,700 and loyalty bonuses of 14,000. A long-serving pilot told the BBC this was too little too late. He said, "There is a lack of basic benefits for pilots: no free bottles of water, coffee, or tea, and no crew meals." He said pilots also had to buy their own uniform. He added, "People have just had enough of the toxic atmosphere." Mr. O'Leary is attempting to repair the damage done by Ryanair's reputation after a scheduling error with pilot holidays. The costly mistake meant more than 20,000 flights have been cancelled recently. because of a lack of available pilots. This has affected over 700,000 passengers. An industry analyst said the airline made this costly error by initially disrespecting the skill set of pilots. He added, in a rare move, Ryanair is being forced to backpedal, apologize, and meet pilots' pay demands. O'Leary is confident that pilots will stay. He said, I urge you to stay with Ryanair for a brighter, better future for you and your family. He added, we are a very secure employer in a very insecure industry.
All right, very good job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for reading that to me. As you can see, I just highlighted some words. And as you noticed, as time goes by, as we read and we read a lot of articles, we are minimizing these mistakes. So, or mispronounced words. So, my dear, before I ask you about this correction of pronunciation, is there any words in here that you do not know what is the meaning of?
No?
Are you sure that everything is cleared?
Yes, I have looked it up before. I just looked it up before the class.
Okay, that's great to know. Now let us go ahead and practice this pronunciation. Can you tell me how you read this word again?
Boss.
Alright, very good. It should be boss.
Boss.
Yeah, boss, not boss. Okay.
Boss.
Alright, very good. Next one, this word. How do you read this word?
Pledge.
Very good. It should be pledge. I heard you said a while ago, pledge.
Yes.
Yeah, so there. This word, how do you read this? It's okay, it's okay. How do you read this?
Offered.
Very good. My dear, it's offered, not offered. Alright?
Okay.
Alright, so this one, how do you read this?
Dollar.
Dollars.
Dollars.
Okay. If there is more than one indicated in the amount, you should say dollars. My dear, I just would like to let you know that it is very important for us to mention the money sign if we are talking about the money, because if you are going to be the speaker and you are going to tell some amount in your listeners, they might be confused. So what is that amount all about? And is it a US dollar, Canadian dollars, Taiwanese dollars?
US
like
dollars.
That. Very good. So please do not forget to mention that one. It is very relevant nor important to say it. So next one. This word. How do you read this word?
Lack.
Very good. It's not lake, it's lack.
Lack.
Very good. This word. How do you read this?
Is that basic?
Very good. Basic. It's a long A, so it should be basic.
Basic.
Very good. Now, my dear, this word.
Mr.
Very good. So I heard you said a while ago, Emerald Larry. So
No.
I got confused. Why did you not mention Mr.?
I believe I said Mr. It's okay. No, it's clear.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. If you pronounce it Mr., then that's very good. There. Next, you did not pronounce this word.
Damage is done to Ryan.
Damage.
Damage.
Alright, this word. Most of my students pronounce this as damage. It's just damage.
Damage. It's a
Very good. Yeah, it's a short A, damage. And then On the second syllable, it's just a short E. Damage.
Damage.
Very good. So, yeah, again, I did not hear you say this word a while ago.
Damage done to Ryanair's reputation.
Very good. Lastly, how do you read this word, my dear?
Is it available?
Very good. Available.
Available.
There. So, very good job. I know that you know how to pronounce it right. It's just that when you are reading a lot and you wanted to read it perfectly, of course, you are not that conscious if there will be mispronounced words. But it's okay. It's really okay. As long as the thought itself is clear, then it's okay. You will be understood.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome. My dear, I just would like to know, how do you explain this? We are a very secure employer in a very insecure industry. So what is your understanding about this quote?
He is telling the pilots they should be satisfied with his offer because the industry is completely unstable and they are providing a stable status for them and they should just take it.
Okay, very good. Very good job. I know this somehow. Very good job. I really like this sentence. I really like your thought about it. But you just have to say stable industry.
Stable industry.
Yeah, very good. Stable.
They,
Okay.
it,
Oh,
long,
also,
it's a long A sound. Stable.
yes, stable.
Okay.
Also, I noticed you say status.
Status.
My dear, it should be status.
Status.
Yeah, it's a short A. Status. Status. Do you got it, my dear?
Status.
There, very good. It's status.
Status.
There, very good. Now, do you have any questions regarding the pronunciation of this article?
No.
Alright. Well then, if that is the case, let us go ahead and do the next part. Now that we are done reading it, we will see how you answer it. Wow, there's already answers.
Yes.
There are answers on it. Very good. Let us go ahead and check our answers. For the true or false, please read the first or number one for me.
The airline in the article is Europe's biggest low-cost carrier.
Very good. And this is true.
Yes.
Next, number two.
The airline employs almost 42,000 pilots.
And your answer is false. What makes it false?
It should be 4,200 pilots.
Very good job. So this is where the mistake is coming from. Very good. Next, number three.
The airline offered a salary increase to up to $14,000.
All right. So you said it's false. Why?
The number should be $11,700.
Okay, very good. It's not $14,000 because $14,000 is for
the loyalty bonuses.
Very good. Next, number four.
The airline provides pilots with uniforms free of charge.
Very good, and you answered false. Where is the mistake coming from?
The pilots have to buy uniform by themselves.
Alright, so it is not free of charge.
Yes.
Okay, very good job. Next, number five.
The airline made a mistake with its pilots' holiday schedule.
Very good. What makes it true? I mean, what is that sentence?
Hold on.
Where is that sentence?
Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
There is the first sentence in the second paragraph. Mr. O'Leary
Mhm.
is attempting to repair the damage done to Ryanair's reputation after a scheduling error with pilot Halliday.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next. Oh, my dear, I just forgot something. Again, how do you read this word?
Which one? Error.
Hold on. Alright, so it's not error, it's error.
Error.
There, error.
Error.
Okay, it's a short E. Error.
Error.
Very good. So there. Number 6. Can you please read it for me? Actually, my dear, sorry. This is not totally error. You can say error or error. Error or error.
Okay. So error is okay.
Yes, error, but not error.
I could not tell the differences.
Okay. I heard you say a while ago error,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So the right pronunciation should be error or error.
The second one, I don't know the second one. With my pronunciation, the differences between the two.
Okay. So, alright. For the first one, I heard you said error. With what I said, you should say error like not error or error. There's no enunciation of O. Error. You got that clear?
I could tell the differences about this one.
Yeah.
But
Error.
but the,
Error.
but,
Sorry.
but the first one and the third one that I cannot tell.
Ah, I see. Now I understand. You pronounce this as error, and my correction is error.
Still,
A and the E.
still cannot tell the differences.
It's okay. Again, you pronounce it as error. Error. And I'm pronouncing the right one or the other one as error. Error. Error and
It's
error.
the syllable after the "et."
It's this syllable.
The
E.
first one, right?
Yeah, it's the A and E. So it should not be A, because I heard you say error. Then it should be error. E, E. Error and not error. Do you hear now the difference?
The correct one is error.
There.
And
Error.
the wrong one is error.
There.
Error. A. Oh, I got messed up again. Error.
It's okay.
Error and another one is what? Error.
No. The wrong one is error. A. Error. You're pronouncing E as A. The other one is E. Error. Error.
So the correct one is error. And
there. Error.
Then wrong one is error.
There. Because I am hearing you a while ago you said error.
Okay, I got it.
Are you sure you understand it?
Yes, the wrong one is error. The correct one is error.
There, very good. There you go. Very good that you noticed the difference.
It's very difficult.
I know. And there are more words that you do not know that you are mispronouncing it, especially if the A and the S sounds likely the same.
Yeah.
But it's okay, that is workable. Now, my dear, Let us read number 6.
Please wait.
Alright.
Okay. Over 700,000 passengers have been affected by flight cancellations.
And very good with your answers. Now, number 7.
The article said paddles on airplanes weren't put back.
Very good. Your answer is false. And what makes it false?
It says the company has to back paddle, not putting a paddle on the airline.
Alright, very good. So it's still weren't put back.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Very good job. And lastly, the airline.
The airline. I'm sorry about the last question. Number 7.
Mm-hmm.
If they change the weren't to were, would that be a true answer?
Actually, it says here that, or is that back pedal? Back pedal, sorry.
Yes.
He added, in a rear move, Ryanair is being forced to back pedal.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So they are being forced to do it. In this one, it says here that the airplanes, or he said that the pedals on airplanes weren't put back. So it is not put back. But on the article, it says they are forced to put it back.
Actually, my question is that I got a little bit confused with the so-called paddles because I'm not sure if the paddles here is a physical paddle or just like the verb back paddle is a advanced word,
Or
abstract concept in the question number 7.
so what do you mean by abstract word?
I mean, the word back paddle, I look it up and it says the meaning is like retract. And in here, number 7, it mentioned paddle. And I'm not sure if it's a similar meaning about retract or it's a physical paddle laying means in here.
Actually, it's the same meaning.
Okay.
I mean, it's about the retraction.
Okay. So if the answer is the questions change from weren't to were, then the answer should be true, right?
Hold on. Okay. Actually, I totally understand where you're coming from now. Okay, hold on. Okay, so in this article, or in this thought on the article, they're talking about this verb, the backpedal,
Yes.
where it's about retraction.
Yes.
Because it is about a situation. But in this one, it is talking about literally the pedal that needs to be put back.
Yeah, that's my question. I
Yeah.
was wondering if the paddle here is literally paddle.
Yeah, it is literally paddle. Pedals. Sorry, not paddle. Pedals. Very good. So there, it's true that it is literally the pedal, and your answer is correct that it's false because it should be back pedal, not weren't put back.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there you go. Is everything clear now?
Yes. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, it's a good thing that you asked because if you will be looking at it on the other side of how the sentence was constructed, it should be the article said pilots backpedal, or Ryanair backpedals the pilots of the airplanes. So that is how it should be constructed, not literally talking about the pedals.
Okay. I see.
All right.
Okay.
So very good job with that observation. I really appreciate that. Now, lastly, The airline.
The airline is fairly sure that its pilots will not quit.
Very good. So they are very confident that their pilots will stay. So do you have any other questions regarding this activity, true or false?
No.
Okay, very good. Now let us do the synonym match. We will correct your answers because I have seen here that you answered it already. Now let's start with number 1.
Boss. Chief.
Very good. So the correct answer is letter G. Very good. Next.
Pledge. Promise.
Very good. Next, number 3.
Basic. Fundamental.
Very good. Next.
Buy. Purchase.
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 Very good. Next, number 5.
Toxic. Poisonous.
Very good. Next.
Attempting. Trying.
Awesome. Next, 7.
Costly. Expensive.
Nice one. Nice vocabulary. Number 8.
Initially. At first.
Very good. So if you will be creating your answers, you can say instead of at first, you can say initially.
Okay.
Okay. Next, number 9.
Backpedal.
Anything?
About face.
Very good. Lastly.
Industry. Trade.
Very good. Very good job, my dear, with your answer. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Next. You're most welcome. Now, let us do number 3. Phrase match. Okay? So, according to the instruction, sometimes more than one choice is possible. So, let us go ahead and continue your corrections. Number 1.
Working conditions.
Very good. Is there any other words that you think will fit on this working?
Working status.
Very good. On working status, on this one, on the choices.
Oh, okay. Another one. No.
There's nothing else?
No.
Okay. All right, not a problem. Next, number 2.
Address concerns that pilots are dissatisfied.
Very good. What else? Can you think or can you check any other words that we can use in here? Address concerns that pilots.
No.
Nothing else. Okay, very good. Next, number 3.
Loyalty. Bonuses.
Very good. Is there any other words?
I think benefits might fit.
Yeah, very good. Benefits. Next, number 4.
There is a lack basic benefits.
Very good. Also, we can use bonuses for this, right? Basic bonus. Yes. Okay, very good.
People
All right.
have just had enough of the toxic atmosphere.
Very good. So what else? What else can you think of the answer?
Employer.
Of their employers, yeah, it can be, right? Or we can also say they just had enough of the conditions of this company.
Yeah.
So very good job. Number 6.
Attempting to repair the damage done to Ryanair's reputation.
Very good. Is there any other words or phrase that you can add up on this one?
No.
All right, very good. Next, number 7.
More than 20,000 flights have been cancelled.
Very good. Is there any other words or phrase that you can use?
No.
All right. Next, number 8.
Industry. Analyst.
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 Very good. Another word.
No.
How about industry employer? It can be one as well.
Yes, but the meaning would not be the same.
Yeah, exactly. So it will be a different one. Next, number 9.
Ryanair is being forced to backpedal.
Very good. Is there any other words? Ryanair is being forced to
Cancel my flight.
cancel. Canceled flights, canceled their contracts with their pilots, like that. So very good job. Next, number 10.
We are a very secure employer.
So aside from employer, is there any other words that you can use?
Um, any other noun might fit, like analyst, but the meaning would be different.
Yeah. Also, we are very secure. Yeah, that's it. It's just employer and analyst because both of them are noun. So very good job. And thank you so much for making all of these answers correct as well. So you are almost, or you are perfect with number 1, number 2, number 3 activities. Very good job. Now, my dear, you're welcome. Let us go ahead and do the correction now for comprehension questions. As I can see here, you have answered everything. That's nice to know. Now, let us go ahead and do number 1. What kind of airline is Ryanair?
Ryanair is a low-cost airline company.
Very good. Next, number 2. How many pilots does Ryanair have?
Ryanair has 4,200 pilots.
Very good for using has. Why not have? Because the question says have.
No, because it's one company.
Very good. Very intelligent, my dear. Next, how much are the loyalty bonuses that Ryanair is offering?
Ryanair provides loyalty bonuses of $14,000.
All right, so you just need to put the dollar sign. Very good, very good job. And next, number 4. Who buys the uniform for the pilots?
The pilots have to buy uniforms themselves.
All right, very good. And using have.
Yes.
But for this one, yeah, the pilots have to buy uniforms themselves. There, very good. Number 5. How did the pilot describe the atmosphere as Ryanair as being?
The pilot described the atmosphere in Ryanair as toxic.
Very good. And number 6. What part of Ryanair was damaged because of a scheduling error?
Ryanair damaged their own reputation when they messed up the pilots' holidays.
Again, my dear, how do you read this word? Messed. Very good. It's not maced. It's messed.
It's a short A?
Short E. A. Messed. Very good. Next, number 7. How many passengers were affected by canceled flights?
More than 700,000 passengers were affected by the cancelled flights.
Very good. Next, what did an industry analyst said Ryanair had to meet?
Ryanair had to meet the pilots' pay demands. There's an S in the end. Demands.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. I'm sorry. There. So very good job. Number 9. What kind of future did the CEO suggest could be had by not quitting?
The CEO suggested the pilots could have a better, brighter future by not quitting.
Very good. I just noticed that we are missing one word.
That.
There. That the pilots could have a better, brighter future. And also here, could have a better. And again, remember that I told you before, if you are done enumerating the things that you will be saying, you can use and to give out the last one. Do you got it, my dear?
No.
So again, for example, let me give you an example. I will be washing, cooking, cleaning the house. So there. I am listing down some things, right? Washing, cooking, and cleaning. If you are done enumerating the things, you should use and. I will be washing, cooking, and cleaning the house.
Yes, I know this, but I'm not. I don't know that what's wrong with the number 9's answer.
Because you provided 2 examples. You list down 2 things. And you only used the comma. Like that. But better, brighter future. So you should say better and brighter future.
So the correct one should be one of these 2. That is that correct?
No, you can just remove this comma. A better and brighter future. If you're going to say if you're just going to describe one word, which is the future, you can just combine these 2 words, better and brighter. But if you are talking about 2 different things, like a better life, comma, and brighter future, that is how you should say it.
Okay. What's my original answer?
This one.
Oh, okay. I
Okay.
think I might copy from the article.
You just copied it on the article?
Hold on, let me make sure. Yes.
Okay.
In the last sentence, in the second paragraph, I think
Okay.
I think it's wrong. In the article.
Okay. So the reason why here, I urge you to stay with Ryanair for a brighter, better future for you and your family. So he's just telling on the first, this is, okay, the difference between this one is that this is a clause, an independent clause. An independent clause is a phrase that can stand alone.
Yes.
Okay, so actually, we can just end this sentence like this. I urge you to stay with Ryanair for a brighter, that one. Okay, for a brighter. So the reason why he uses comma, okay, I think we just need to discuss one thing.
Is brighter an adjective and a noun?
It is actually brighter. As far as I believe, it is a verb.
No.
Oh no, sorry, it's an adjective. Yeah, it's an adjective.
It could not end as a clause to end after brighter, right?
Okay, that is correct. And that is what I am going to explain now. Now, do you know what clauses are? Okay. How do you define clauses?
Usually has a subject and a verb, and
Very
depends
good.
on what the verb is. They might have object after it.
Okay, so as you know, again, clause means this is the smallest grammatical unit that can express a complete thought or proposition. Okay, so a typical clause, can consist, not can, but it really consists of a subject and a predicate. And a predicate. Also, it is typically a verb phrase. Okay? Or a verb with any objects, and other modifiers. So that is what clauses means. In order for us to determine what are, or let's just say, what can we do with the clauses, or how can we identify it? Okay? We have to know what is the independent clause. Dependent clause this is actually it cannot be a sentence. Why? Because it is just a group of words. Oh my god, I'm so sorry for that. Who keeps on texting me? Hold on. I'm so sorry about that, my dear.
Thinking.
It's pretty disturbing.
Is
Hold
mine
on.
or not?
Yeah. So it is again a group of words that contains a subject and verb, but it does not complete a thought. So it's just plainly a subject and a verb. So what is the difference between dependent clause and independent clause? So independent clause is actually a sentence. Okay, it's already a sentence. It can become a sentence, which means it has a complete thought. It has a complete thought, which means it has a subject. It has a subject, verb, and predicate. So there. Now that we know how to identify these two, for this one, I urge you to stay with Ryanair for Brighter. This is an example of dependent clause. Okay, it has a subject, yes. It has a verb. Stay is a verb, but it is not a complete thought. And in order for this one to be a complete thought, it needs to have an independent clause. Better future for you and your family, or another dependent clause. So when two dependent clauses combine together, it can form a sentence. Okay? So what's the advantage of independent clause? It can already be a sentence, but for dependent clause, it needs to have it needs to take two dependent clauses to create a sentence. There. So two dependent clauses, and that is why this sentence is created.
Um,
Do you got it, my dear?
I have,
So we are not just talking about the listing. Sorry, go
I
ahead. I'm
have
so
no
sorry.
trouble understanding clause or dependent and independent clause. However,
Mm-hmm.
in the sentence from the article, I urge you that I it is kind of against my understanding about. I mean, I could understand this sentence, but I could understand that before the comma is an independent sentence and after comma is another independent sentence, because in the second clause it has no verb, and for my opinion, I think there are two adjectives that a consecutive one with only a comma, so there are actually one dependent sentence to me.
Okay. That is where you are getting it wrong, my dear. Again, the reason why you are confused is because these two, these are dependent. Dependent, again, it cannot be a sentence unless it is two dependent clauses. That is the time that it can be a sentence. Also, again, dependent clause can consist or can contain a subject and a verb, but it does not complete a thought. Okay? So it can have just a subject and a predicate, but it doesn't have a verb, or it can have a subject and verb, but it doesn't have a predicate. And that's why it is not complete, because a sentence or an independent clause consists of a subject, verb, and predicate.
So I mean, okay, I can understand your definition about dependent clause, but if we switch the comma to and, what will the meaning become different?
Okay, the meaning will become, it's actually the same. Okay, and probably it is because, or the reason why it has a comma in there is because it is a quote that the CEO made. I mean to say, the speaker or the narrator or the creator of this sentence has the right to play how he constructs his sentences. In our own ways or in our own understanding, it is grammatically wrong because he listed better future, which has the same, or should I say, which can be used for future, brighter future and better
Yes.
future, but thus he uses comma because he wanted to separate this thought and this
Okay.
thought. So there are two ways for us to define how the speaker or how the narrator uses this
Okay, now,
sentence and the reason why he used the
okay,
comma.
so now I understand that it is because it's a quote. So even its grammatical error, it is right to use in the article, right?
Again, Americans are conflicting their sentences or their grammars a lot of times. But in here, I just would like to let you know that this things or that this thought has two definitions. I mean, two ways to interpret. One way is that for this quote, okay, he uses, or the speaker uses, one or two dependent clauses, and the second one, a grammatical error wherein he doesn't use the word or the connecting word,
Okay,
which is and.
okay.
There.
I understand now.
Are you sure that you do
Yes.
understand? Are you sure that it is
Yes.
clear now? Okay. So there. It's a good thing that you helped me, remember these clauses. Now, again, if your answer is just the same thing, I mean, it is not a quote, and you're expressing your thought, you can just say the CEO described the airline industry, or should I say, the CEO suggested that the pilots could have a better and brighter future by not quitting.
Okay.
Okay? So that's the right way for you to say it.
Yeah.
Alright? Okay. So lastly, number 10. How did the CEO describe the airline industry as
The
being?
CEO described the airline industry is a very insecure industry.
Very good. Do you know what's the meaning? What's the missing word again?
Describe the industry as, is that us? Is
No.
okay.
Yes. The CEO described that the airline industry is a very insecure industry. And we use two industries, so you can just have one industry in one sentence. You can just say the CEO described that the airline is a very insecure industry.
Okay.
Do you have any questions regarding the corrections for number 9 and for
No.
number 10? Are you sure that everything
Yes.
is clear? Are you
Yes.
really sure? Okay,
Yes.
that's great to know. I just want to avoid confusions in your
Okay.
end, my dear. Alright, so in our next meeting, we will continue discussing this article, wherein we are now on discussion part. Again, if you can do the same thing by answering it in advance, that is much better. And later on, I will be sending you a new book so that you can practice it if you wanted to. Alright, well then, do you have any questions for me? Alright, so my dear, thank you so much for today's lesson. I really appreciate that. And please have a
You
wonderful
too. Take care.
weekend, okay?
Thank you.
You too,
Bye.
my dear. Bye-bye. Thank you.